From where we left off, well, there was a big battle going on, people dying all around, lots of XP flying about. There's the battle of the various armies coming to stop the nightmare vestige spider, and then there's also the one going on in the elf village. What exactly is going on? Why are certain students completely against their previous friends? What more is being left unsaid? Who is actually on the correct side? Then we're going to have answers to all of the questions, but all I know is there's going to be some janky animation. Should be fun though. There is more people in the sidelines who haven't shown themselves yet. They're actually going to make sure the job is done this time. Wait, what? Why do they have like that kind of monitoring system and computers? The elves are quite advanced. Wait, was that the sound of those... the doors closing in, like, Dead Space or something? Is he making one last stand kind of thing? You can't go in it by halves. I have a feeling as though there is more to be revealed about Potamus than has already been shown off. And even though this story is, you know, all about the spider predominantly, I want the other classmates to be a bit more fleshed out and have some story that's not just reactionary. But even, like, the past that they held together and knowing each other when they were learning does mean that in this world they're having the same upbringing, same understanding of the world and viewpoints. Take that word of God, girl. I'm not sure what I think of the mix of technology and fantasy that we saw with the elves just then. I mean, we'd already seen, like, the administrator drop down a cell phone, but that's slightly different. That's not actually that bad. They've upped their game a little. Okay, I might have spoken a bit too early. Muda, 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 muda. So he's got various small skills and tricks that he's not really being able to utilize too well. But there's a lot more that they can do. Remember, there's other people on the battlefield, not just them. Yeah, and anyone actually trained can evade that kind of attack. He really isn't a useful idiot, isn't he? The world doesn't technically belong to anyone. Ooh. Although I guess in this world the administrators might have a bit more claim. Hmm. Now you're actually going to listen to him. Does he fall on the battlefield this time, as according to the student roster? Oh, hey there. Yeah, they have had a meeting before. He's come a long way from just being, what, a butler for the main family. Surprising, isn't it? The elves were so sure in their defences. Really? You thought they were giving you all the power and help for nothing in return? Have we actually seen her stats and abilities or anything? Well, they still need her, apparently. Yeah, she still holds herself with a bit of decorum. So, that's something to be wary about. Well. Hi, Hugo. I suppose, yeah, cool. Why wouldn't they be able to pull swords out of nowhere because, inventories and whatnot, but not seeing that. It's like, oh, we've just defeated the strongest person we've went up against. Oh, they were a fraction of the one we're facing now. Oh well. With our powers combined, we are still not good enough. It's like fighting a maybe like mid-game boss. But you're going to agree to that? Apparently so. Well, they're a vampire. Why wouldn't they be able to just phase into the immaterial? Surprising. I think I prefer the kind of almost static 2D over the panning 3D. What, just cut the arm off? No. It was just a glove or something. Giving the sign of her strength there with the 2 fingers. Yeah, he speaks big. If she wanted to cut him down, he could do so in an instant. Size isn't what matters, though. That's what they tell me. Hmm. Well, if you usually understand how you momentum and whatnot, sure, but I'm not sure this world really cares too much. You know, why not aim, like, sweep the legs and whatnot as well? There you go, you don't have to attack purely with the sword. They're expecting, yeah, people to play fair. What? You know, apart from just being, you know, a flashy battle and what do they hope to gain? Some sneaky spellcasting. Yeah, can't you just step aside and let me take down the elf village? Not part of the plan. The reincarnations are just here by chance, kind of thing. Half killer. They have a personal vendetta in all of this. Oh. Well, it was managed to be cast. What the hell was that? But what was she casting? Here, just shout louder. He's not aiming to kill her, which means the attack is gonna fail. Some reinforced cloth. However, they didn't think about it good enough. It really would raise this up if it wasn't so bland of a background. Someone actually stepping in with trying to do a bit of negotiation. Well, it's a bit more than pride going on at the minute, but sure, why not? He really flipped 180 after just hearing that one sentence. Because his pride wasn't that strong. Oh, they won. It wasn't even him, just a projection of him. A good way to make sure you don't ever actually sustain too many injuries. But those two managing to take down a commander of the demon army, even if it is a projection, not bad. Probably a better fight than what we actually got to see. That's... You should be glad that they're not trying to kill you and all of your friends. But is this the kind of fight that you really need to, well, be a part of, really? I mean, they don't really have any affiliation with the elves, so... Sometimes pick your battles. Was... One way to introduce yourself straight into the into the scene. Interesting dress sense. Since they seemed like they would take a little bit more convincing. Ah, the missing friend. They haven't changed that much, just some fancy horns and some hair colouring. And he knew who she was immediately. Did some homework. I mean, yeah. Haven't really hidden that, have they? And why are the elves a threat to all of the world? I'm guessing they're trying to do something against the administrators themselves. He's unwell for himself. Who are you signalling to? Ah, that's who they're signalling to. Did seriously no one pick up on the large number of troops that kind of hidden behind rocks? Good question. And just when they're starting to question the elves and their motives, look who appears. Oh, well. He didn't do much. That's what it means to be a unnamed background character. Blood magic? Neat. I feel this really suits the aesthetic of the world. But someone was obviously a bit attached to these robotic units. Yeah, what else are they hiding now? Yeah, mechas. She looks bored. Yeah, this is the views from down the barrels of the guns. They don't seem particularly phased. So, we have a few questions. Since the administrators themselves created this world, and the elves apparently want to destroy it, do they want to overthrow it for their own gain? Destroy it entirely because... well, what the hell is this place? I really didn't expect robot summons. It's just strange. And it really did seem as though, like, you could really see the different segments of this episode that were handled by separate teams. Some had a little bit more time than others. And now that we're having this, I'm guessing the next episode will be a bit more back in the past, explaining the lead-up. Which is necessary. Just casually strolling through the forest. Must have been a nice day. Yep, he's laid his hand out on the table. Exposed what he thought was a winning set of cards. You know, trying to overthrow a world that was created and those creators can actually interfere and come down and do stuff, yeah, you're gonna make a few enemies. And this world itself doesn't exactly lend itself to being all too balanced or fair. You can understand why some people try to rise up, however, I don't believe the elves are probably in it for all the right reasons. But again, is there a right reason? Every time something in this is set up to be a plain good versus evil, it very rarely has played out that way. But since this is getting quite late on in the episode count, what is going to be the reveal for the next one? And yeah, I may go back and actually read the novels now because Needs more spiders. I mean, that's why we're here, are we not? And if Sophia and the demon army and whatnot had just started off by saying things aren't quite as they seem, the elves probably aren't to be entirely trusted. Instead of going in all guns blazing, maybe they'd have a bit more leg to stand on getting them to come around to their way of thinking. But with the mechas inbound, I can assume that there's going to be explosions and actually scenes of stuff getting slaughtered. So, look forward to that. If you enjoyed this one, let me know. Subscribe to keep up to date. See you in the next one. Instead of joining a conflict, with size you're not entirely sure which you should be on, consider joining onto my Patreon instead, because why fight when we can sit down and watch some anime? So I need to thank Sal, Raywin, Electrican, Darvia, Shiwan, Mecha, Jennifer Rojas, Stinsfire, Big Boy, Mats, Rassus Paulson, Girly, Denver997, ASD, Duck Show, 7899 and everyone else. Because with them, maybe I can fund my own mecha army.